Hi everyone, welcome to J&D Gardens. We're here in Garden East today. And as you can see, we're missing our planter bed. Well, actually we're not missing it. This year we're looking to rebuild it. So we saw this as a perfect opportunity to show everyone how to set up a planter bed from the beginning. From setting the location based on the sun, to building the wood frame, and actually filling it up with soil. So let's get going. We all know the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. That's because the earth rotates towards the east, and that's why the sun makes its way westward across the sky. Now this is very important to keep in mind when choosing a location for your planter bed. You don't want any obstruction like trees or your home casting shadows and blocking off the light. You want to make sure that you have the most sun possible throughout the day on your garden. Okay. Once you figure out your location, now it's time to start working on the bed itself. Okay, so now before we fill up the planter bed with the screen soil, I just want to explain to you about the planter bed itself. Now I'm not going to bore you with building out a box, but I just want to point out a couple of things. First is the material. Now you can use whatever you want. We like to use pressure treated wood, but you can use pine. I've seen people use composite materials or I've even seen people line cinder blocks around. Anything that's going to hold the soil in place, you can use. The best thing I would tell you if you're using wood, whatever fastener you use, I would tell you to use some kind of galvanized screw or lag bolt. This will stop it from rusting and really does a good job of holding it together. These planter beds are several years old and they're doing great. The other thing is the size of your planter bed. Now, this particular planter bed is 5 foot wide by 16 foot. Now, if I were to fill this up with soil, the center would actually start to bow because the weight of all that soil will push it out. So what I like to do is put a cross beam here, which are bolted, and we'll keep it together. Now when all the soil's there, it's not going to bow out this. This is too short. It's not going to bow out the middle here, but it would bow it out here if I didn't have this. So just something to think about. Normally you don't have a planter bed this size, but if you do, think about adding a support, because the longer you go, the more chance that the wood's going to bow out. So let me finish filling these in and we'll move on. Okay, so we have our planter beds mostly filled. What you want to do is want to make sure you work it in there as much as possible. Try to flatten it down. We'll go between both beds. Make sure you get the corners. Moves so much easier when it's all screened out. Also, you might want to grab a hoe and then you can just work it a little bit easier, push in the spots. Now, what I like to do to make sure it's nice and leveled off, I like to grab a 2x4 and get down on your hands and knees. Make sure the 2x4 is straight, it's not bowed, and make sure there's a little bit longer than your planter bed. And what you do is you kind of screen it off this way. If you ever seen concrete being poured, the same principle. Just get as close as you can. What that does, it allows you to see all the low spots, and you can grab, fill them in. And it sometimes starts getting heavy if you have a big mound in the center. You can do it with 2 people as well. Just keep working back, fill in any spots. If you wind up with more, one area, just keep bringing it over, flattening it out. You'll see you'll get to the edge and you'll fill out all the spots until you get it nice and smooth. Then you'll know if you get over on the side, that's okay. Then you just keep working it. Back and forth. And eventually, it's come nice and smooth. So grab the soil, fill in the spots, and eventually just move it on to the next bed. You come in, fill the spots. Let me get on this side now. Whoop. If that happens, just bring it back. You get the idea. And that's it, you'll get a nice smooth surface. So let me finish. Okay, planter beds are all filled and leveled off and ready for whatever you want to plant in them. For us, this is our canna garden. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. And be sure to hit like and subscribe. And remember, till next time, yes, sweet canna.